In a forgotten village at the edge of the northern mountains, where winters came early and rivers ran dry in summer, lived a young boy named Elian. He was not known for strength or brilliance, but for something far rarer, his unwavering kindness. Elian lived with his grandmother, Elira, in a crumbling stone hut. Orphaned at the age of 6 when a storm took his parents, Elian had grown up knowing the world's cruelty, but he refused to reflect it. Instead, he offered what little he had to others, earning both quiet admiration and loud criticism. The village of Elder had once thrived. Rich forests, flowing rivers, and golden fields blessed its people. But misfortunes came in waves. First, the mines dried. Then the crops withered. Disease followed. Fear replaced trust, and generosity turned to suspicion. Elder became a village of locked doors and hushed voices. Yet Elian remained a spark of warmth in the cold silence. One frigid evening, as snow blanketed the village paths, Elian heard a knock at his door. No one visited after sundown. He opened it cautiously. An old man stood there, hunched and trembling. His cloak was torn, and he clutched a broken lantern. "Please," the man whispered, "may I rest by your fire?" Without hesitation, Elian stepped aside. He brought the stranger in, fed him warm broth, and dried his clothes by the hearth. His grandmother watched silently, wary but respectful. After eating, the old man held up the broken lantern. "This," he said, "was once the lantern of Elian. It reveals truth and dispels darkness, but only if wielded by one with a kind heart." Elian listened, unsure if the man spoke in riddles or reality. The stranger smiled, placed the lantern on the table, and drifted into sleep. By morning, he was gone, but the lantern remained, restored and glowing faintly. The village mocked Elian for keeping the lantern. A child's toy, some said. But one night, Elian dreamt of a mirror forest, where paths split into thousands. In the center, the lantern pulsed with light. A voice whispered, "To save Elder, follow the light." When he awoke, the lantern glowed brighter than before. Elian knew what he had to do. With a satchel of bread, water, and the lantern, Elian left the village at dawn. His grandmother hugged him tightly, whispering, "Kindness will be your compass." The first trial awaited in the forest of whispers. Tall trees murmured lies and fears, confusing travelers until they lost their way. As Elian walked, the lantern's light dimmed whenever he believed the whispers. But when he remembered his truth, that he walked for others, not himself, the lantern glowed, showing the correct path. At the forest's heart, a woman cried for help. She claimed her child was lost. Elian hesitated, knowing it might be a trick, but he chose to help. Following the woman, he found not a child, but a tree, dead and twisted, with a trapped fox snarling in pain. Elian freed the animal, and suddenly the woman transformed into a spirit. "You chose kindness over fear," she said, and gave him a vial of healing water. "You'll need this." Next, Elian reached a village made entirely of mirrors. People there saw only reflections of greed, pride, and bitterness. They were trapped in illusions of what they wanted to be, forgetting who they were. Elian saw his reflection, too, a taller, stronger version of himself, praised and respected. But the lantern flickered and dimmed. Elian turned away. "I'd rather be kind than admired." The mirrors shattered, revealing the villagers as real people, lost in delusion. His choice freed them. One villager, a boy named Kale, chose to join Elian. "You reminded me who I am. I want to help." Elian and Kale reached a river with no bridge. A boatman offered passage, but demanded the healing water in exchange. Elian looked at Kale, who had twisted his ankle. Without the water, the injury might worsen. He gave the vial to Kale. The lantern glowed brighter than ever, and a new bridge of light formed across the river. The boatman vanished, revealing himself as another spirit. You give what you need most, yet receive what truly matters. Their next destination was a ruined city where no one could speak. People were mute, not by choice, but by fear. A cruel sorcerer had cursed the city after he was betrayed by those he helped. Elian tried to speak, but no sound came. The lantern, however, glowed warmly. He used gestures, shared food, and lit fires to bring people together. Slowly, Trust returned. The sorcerer appeared. Curious. You do not fear silence? Elian shook his head. Silence is only harmful when filled with hate. But kindness speaks in actions. The sorcerer wept, lifting the curse. He gave Elian a crystal to protect him from harm. Atop Mount Verdun awaited the last challenge, a creature of shadows that fed on despair. It attacked Elian and Kale with visions of failure, mockery, and loneliness. Elian held the lantern high, but it flickered. The creature whispered, "You give everything, yet gain nothing. They forget you. They abandon you." Elian trembled, but then he remembered his grandmother's hug, the freed fox, Kale's friendship, the city's laughter. He whispered, "Kindness is not for reward. It is who I am." The lantern burst into brilliant light, banishing the shadow. Elian returned with Kale. The village had changed. Fields bloomed, and the river flowed again. People greeted them with open arms. They listened to his stories. Some wept, remembering their lost selves. Elian placed a lantern in the village square. "Let it guide you as it guided me." Years passed. Elder became a beacon of hope, where travelers came to learn compassion. Elian never became rich or famous, but his story was told for generations. The lantern never needed to shine again, because its light now lived in the hearts of the people.